Hi, this is Ben Madison, Community Developer with the Office of Community Renewal. Today we will be discussing the Low and Moderate Income, or LMI, map tool provided by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, in order to help determine whether communities qualify as low and moderate income for the purposes of applying for CDBG grant funding. Let's start with a brief introduction to the concept of GIS software. GIS stands for Geographic Information System, and generally refers to systems and tools that allow for the visual display and analysis of geographic data. Just as global positioning systems, or GPS, provide users with geographic data, GIS systems allow users to display and analyze that data. GIS tools have a variety of different uses and applications in everyday life. Some of these include the design, implementation, and management of communications networks, the managing and design of transportation infrastructure, as part of planning processes to determine where to locate new facilities, and the determination of more efficient routes for emergency personnel, among others. What does this have to do with CDBG grant funding? The New York State CDBG program provides financial assistance to eligible cities, towns, and villages under a certain population threshold. The state must ensure that no less than 70% of its CDBG funds are used for activities that benefit low and moderate income persons, and that meet one of three national objectives. For communities claiming the low and moderate national objective for an activity, at least 51% of those benefiting from the activity must qualify as low or moderate income. Now let's take a look at the HUD LMI map tool and get familiar with some of the basic features. The information from the LMI map tool is based on survey data from the 2011 to 2015 American Community Survey and will be updated as new data become available. The LMI map tool can be accessed via the link provided on the HCR CDBG website under the Program Guidelines section labeled Low and Moderate Eligibility Map Tool. Clicking the link will take you to a default landing page for the map, which is a satellite-style rendering of North America. On the top right, you'll see a search bar that lets you specify the geographic area or areas that you're interested in. For the purposes of this presentation, we'll look at the location of the OCR office in Albany. Once you start typing in the name of the location you're interested in, some suggestions will start to come up below the search bar. Let's click on Albany, New York and see what happens. Next, the map zooms in to an aerial satellite view that includes Albany and some of the outlying areas, towns, cities, counties, etc. Depending on the specificity of the geographic area that we're interested in, it might be helpful to drill down to a more specific layer or geographic level. To do this, we can click on the icon at the very top left of the screen, just under the blue heading bar. This lets us pick our map layer, which shows features pertaining to a particular class or type of real-world entity, such as the town, county, or zip code. A layer contains both the visual representation of the feature, as well as a link to the feature and its database attributes. The Map Layer tool lets you sort geographic features by toggling up to 4 layers on or off: block group, place and consolidated city, county subdivision, and county. Since in this instance we're interested specifically in the city of Albany, we'll uncheck all of the other boxes. Now, when we return to the map, the block group, subdivision, and county markers are gone, leaving only the place and consolidated city boundaries. We can now click on the city of Albany specifically, and doing so brings up a window containing some of the LMI data. The information displayed in the window comes from the ACS census data, but specific to the geographic layer feature that we've selected, the city of Albany. Now let's take a look at what data is displayed. There's a quick key to the acronyms in the data table. GeoID stands for Unique Geolocation ID Number used by HUD, which combines state, county, tract, and block codes. Name, hopefully this is self-explanatory. Place type, designated place, such as city, town, county, census tract, etc. State, each state has a designated number. STUSAB, state US abbreviation, such as NY for New York. Low, the low income population, at or below 50% of area median income. Low mod, low and moderate income population, at or below 80% of area median income. LMMI, low, moderate, and median income persons. Next, let's look at another tool we can use. Underneath the Layer button is a Base Map button, which looks like 4 squares comprising a larger square. This lets us change the underlying base map to one that might be better suited to displaying the type of geographic information that we're interested in. The default base map uses satellite imagery, but we're welcome to change that if we like. Let's select another base map and see what that looks like. If we select the National Geographic base map, it changes the map so that we see what looks like a more traditional map style, with place and city names labeled and geographic features presented in a way that's easier to read. Now that we've changed the base map to something more visually appealing, we might want to go back into the Layers button and add or subtract additional layers to see. For example, the different census block groups within the city of Albany. If a program is targeting a benefit towards a particular neighborhood or area, an income survey needs to be conducted to ensure that project beneficiaries are majority low and moderate income. Being able to see what the block and census data is could give an indication of what information the income survey might be able to provide. Or perhaps we want to zoom out a bit and see what geographical entities are contained within Albany County. Here are some additional resources that you might find helpful. That about wraps up the presentation. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you have any further questions following the conclusion of the webinar, submit your questions to the email on the slide or contact the Office of Community Renewal at 518-474-2057. Please visit the new OCR website at the link on the slide, and be sure to bookmark this for future reference.